the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee to one Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Are you feeling the cheesiest?
You're muted, Landon.
I am. Yes.
That was anticlimactic. Welcome into More Important Issues. It is episode 524, and it is also January 1st, 2024. Look at us. Who would have thought?
Happy freaking New Year.
Every time I'm a little shocked that I made it this far, but hey, we're here.
And it's game day.
It is game day. I hope everyone
It's weird. It feels like it's totally separate from the season, which I guess it kind of is, but it just feels like so long ago we played Vanderbilt.
Yeah, and bowl games are just very different now. In terms of, like you said, it feels separate from the season. It feels like almost a brand new team for a lot of teams, Tennessee included in that. I would not so much, which is, does that change your how much has that changed your thoughts on this game? I know we'll dig deeper into it, but Iowa looks essentially the same. They're missing cornerback
Cooper DeJean.
But he's been out since mid-November, late November. So that's not new.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same, but year in and year out, they're kind of always the same.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked that they scored 28 points on us in 2015? Because that was essentially the same Iowa football team. In fact, there's probably guys playing in this game that were on that football team.
Yeah, I guess they're like, hey, we saved it all for the last game. And hopefully they don't do it this time.
I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a Brian Kirk's their last name. I'm just not pronouncing last names today, by the way. Like, that's just how it's going to work. But it is Iowa's offensive coordinator's last game.
Yeah,
he's fired him. Yeah, he's the son of the head coach, but they fired him, but they're letting him get one more ride in.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. Well, I guess they didn't fire him, but they fired him.
So this is a going out party. So this could be just a complete disaster.
Where's Tony Vitello at? We need him. This is a borderline retirement party.
Okay. Zane Denton, some guys in there.
Yeah.
They can play DB.
I think there's a chance you see Tony Vitello and pads today lining up in the secondary. He would be.
If I was playing today, I'm like, I do have 1 year. I'm ready.
You just have 1 year? You don't have a redshirt year?
Well, I might have 2 because of COVID.
But you don't have a redshirt year?
Yeah, I have 1 year. Yeah.
But you didn't play your senior year, I thought. That'd be 2 years. And then COVID, 3 years.
Oh, I guess so. I have 3 years left. Wow.
And then you could say you got injured 1 year. You have 4 years of eligibility left.
I'm basically a true freshman.
So if I started right now, by the way, would I be entered? Let's say I somehow won starting quarterback job. I tried out there at the age of 28 years old. Would they say starting? Would I be a true freshman? Because I've never redshirted. True freshman from Knoxville, Tennessee, 28-year-old.
Maybe you get counted as a redshirt freshman.
What was Brandon Whedon?
God. I guess he technically was a freshman.
And you're a true freshman, right? Because it's your first year. You weren't redshirted on campus.
Is there an asterisk by it? freshman asterisk.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. No red shirts, just asterisks.
Yeah.
Happy New Year to everybody in the chat. Thanks for hopping in. I know it's kind of a weird one. Hopefully I know some people got to work today, but hate that for you. But everybody that's off and getting ready to enjoy this game, I hope. Hey, don't stress. Don't be mad when Nico throws an incompletion, even when it's an ugly one.
Yeah, there's no reason for it. Sorry if I sound horrible.
You went too hard last night. Family Feud. Fast
Yeah.
money. What are you gonna do?
I gave my all.
You did.
I'm gonna do it again.
Ronnie, thanks for hopping in. Good to hear from you. Would you bet the over in today's game? What is over? I haven't even looked at it. So what's it at? Let's establish
36.
that. Okay, my rule of thumb is don't bet on Tennessee. I feel differently about over-unders because I'm not just betting on Tennessee in that scenario. I've won some money on Tennessee overs. 36. I'd probably bet the over in this game. I'm not like if I had to. I'm not going to do it still. But if I had to, if I had to pick one, I would probably bet the over.
My prediction's right at 36, so I'm not betting either way.
There you go. What'd you say?
23-13.
I think it's a 24-13. Okay.
Yeah.
You took the over. It is exciting though. It's kind of a new age of Tennessee football because and it was last year similar how Joe started the Orange Bowl, but this one is a true freshman starting and taking the reins. You expect him to be the starter next fall. So a lot of excitement there. It's not just with the quarterback either. This is a pretty new team. And that's one thing no matter how good Nico is, he's facing a lot of uphill battles. You do not have Jalen Wright and Jabari Small. Those are two guys that are playmakers that are should help take pressure off. That won't be there. That Joe had throughout the year. That one of them will certainly be drafted and in the NFL next year, and then one whether he's drafted or not, he will be in mini camps and competing for a roster spot, if not earning that. You also have, which you have a guy like Brew McCoy who played 5 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
That won't be there due to injury. I'm trying to remember other opt-outs. You do have some offensive linemen that are either opted out or just can't play right now due to injury. That make that struggle. He's got an uphill battle. That's without looking at any other side of the ball, any other groups. That's just on the offensive side. So Josh Heupel and Joey Halzle have their work cut out for them on putting a game plan in place that not only helps Nico get comfortable, but also allows the offense as a whole to be successful.
Yeah, it's a tall task, especially going up against a really good defense in Iowa and with who you have out. But if you're going to be one of the 20 teams to start a true freshman like we've seen in bowl season, I think I'm feeling the best with Nico Iamaleava. So I'm fired up. I'm ready for it. It's on, and I have my pajama pants on.
You don't have Tennessee ones?
I'm all Nico, baby. It's on.
Okay.
The moment we've been waiting for. Everybody's been wanting Nico since he stepped foot on campus. Well, here it is. So I think I feel good about it. Now, I don't think you can really read too much into this game based on like what we just said with who's out. And
I don't know if good or bad you can just because of
exactly
what we know about the Orange Bowl and how that carried over to this year. I don't think let's say Tennessee comes out and rolls and plays great. Nico plays good. I don't think you can look too much into it. I think you can say, hey, they developed a good game plan over the last 20 or so days, and they're here now. I guess they've had a month to prepare, really, but you just can't bank on anything going into next year. I will say this: I think what I saw this year, a lot of people want to put the quote unquote blame for lack of success on Joe Milton. I think the majority of the lack of success is on the play calling on the offensive side of the football. Then you looked at Alabama game, the play calling in the second half, you did not play to win. You did not set up your guys for success in the second half of that Alabama game, and you gave it up. If you look at the Missouri game, the offensive play calling never got going. It never felt in rhythm. It never felt intentional. Those two losses that I would say were the biggest quote unquote eggs you laid were play calling.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I say eggs, those are two really good football teams, but you just never really looked like you had a fight against Missouri. And then you led Alabama at the half and just crap the bed in the second half. And I think those were play calling. And so I think when you look at this game, it's can the play calling be tailored to what you have right now?
Yeah, and I think you've had a month to prepare for a team that it is what it is. Like Iowa is Iowa. I don't think they're going to come out and do anything different than what they've done all season. I mean, they've won 10 games doing exactly what they did. Why would you change it?
Yeah.
So I do think there is something to that. I think Josh Heupel will dial it up. I want to see that first drive. That first drive, Tennessee's in rhythm. You know, Nico kind of has it slowed down for him. It just, you know, the lights don't look too big or he doesn't look like a deer in the headlights. That first drive, I think, is going to tell exactly how that game's going to go. And so I'm ready for it. I want a huge dose of Dylan Sampson, a huge dose of Squirrel White, and I think you're going to have to take what the defense gives you. Iowa's not going to give up big plays. They're just not. So can Tennessee be patient enough and keep Nico upright in the pocket and move the football?
Yeah, and you talked about heavy dose of Dylan Sampson. I'm curious how they manage the running back situation today. Typically, you have, in the way Josh Heupel's run his offense since he's been here, typically a lot of different faces each drive. You've seen your entire running back room with Cam Seldon. I mean, he couldn't have played more than 20, 25 snaps this year. Or I guess gotten those rushes. I don't know what his full snap count would have been.
Especially just on offense. I mean, I would doubt there's 25 snaps probably.
Yeah. So what is his role this game? That is interesting to – it's going to be interesting to see. It should be a heavy dose of Dylan Sampson, and Tennessee's going to have to find a way to I think their running game is going to look a little bit different than it was with Jalen Wright and Jabari Small. Dylan Sampson's a little bit different type of back, which I like. I mean, I like that we get Dylan Sampson into space, and I hope we do that today. You should be faster than them.
Yes, spread them out. I mean, that should be the game plan. They're used to having running backs that weigh 220 running downhill at you. They're not used to having a guy that's, what is Dylan Sampson, 200 pounds maybe?
Yeah.
That can run, can get it in space. And, yeah, I think Tennessee does spread them out and run the football effectively. I think you have to if you want to, score some points in this game.
Right. Only two teams have scored more than 16 points on this Iowa football team. That's in two of their losses. The only other loss they had was 12-10.
And I think both those games they got blanked, right?
The one, yeah, that the team scored more than 16 points. Yeah,
okay.
They did. Michigan and Penn State. That I don't like that. Josh Heupel, because I don't know what to expect from our defense. I really don't. I think in terms of when you look at matchup wise, I like that we should be pretty effective at stopping the run. I have some questions. Just you have some young linebackers. I have some questions there, but your defensive line is what you saw this season, and they're your strongest unit on that side of the ball. But the defense as a whole, it worries me. Another thing that worries me is does Iowa come out and even attempt to attack your cornerbacks that there's literally no film on? Like, you'd have to go to their high school huddle highlights to try to find film on these guys. And so I don't know what that looks like. And that's where Tennessee's got to be good at putting Iowa behind the chains and getting them off schedule. If you do allow on the defensive side of the ball, Iowa to dial up what they want to dial up, I do worry that we're going to get hit with weird weird plays, I think would be the way to say it. They're going to probably try to take those shots if they can get ahead of the chains. And you have to make them play off schedule if you want to see, I guess the way to say it, see the Iowa offense you've seen this season.
Yeah, I definitely would feel a lot worse if we were going against anybody besides Iowa with our secondary going into this game. But kind of like the reasons you mentioned, the two teams that they lost to, Michigan and Penn State, or did they dominate up front?
Yeah.
And so I feel good with Tennessee's defensive line. Tyler Barron's gone. Who cares? You have James Pierce, you have David Hobbs, you have Amari Thomas, Joshua Josephs, just a ton of guys along that defensive front that's going to be able to carry you. And then those linebackers, Elijah Herring has struggled a little bit in times, but I feel like this is a game where Jeremiah Teenlander can really show out. Let him just pile up the tackles. Let Aaron Beasley be Aaron Beasley that he was in the Orange Bowl last year. And I think you're feeling good. Play man coverage. I don't think you have to worry about zone. Make those guys I don't think those guys in the secondary, you really have to make it super complicated. Hey, that white guy in front of you, guard him. That should be a no-brainer.
Yeah. I don't necessarily disagree with that. Not that I don't know. I question our safeties at times. Sorry, safeties. But maybe put a safety over top and man. Just take like a little protect. Just I don't know. We get beat over top a lot, and I haven't seen these guys, so I don't know if that's the same with them. But I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
But if you get this team behind schedule, there's almost zero doubt in my mind they're not gonna be able to throw the football effectively.
Yeah, if you're gonna play number one, I want somebody else besides Jalen Hyatt or Jalen McCullough playing center field.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jalen McCullough, but
he doesn't get deep. He doesn't get deep. I don't know why he doesn't get deep. But yeah, if you let them get ahead of the chains and you let them play how they want to play action, I'm worried will kill you. But if they're having to do play action behind schedule, let them do play action behind schedule. Run a play action pass on 2nd and 14, please. On 3rd and 15. I would love nothing more. But if you allow them to get in second and friendly situations, that just makes it easier. It makes it harder on you.
We'll give them what Iowa wants to do. They want to punt, so just make them punt.
Yeah, what is it? Punting yard? You tweeted earlier this week. What are they racking up here?
Oh my God, it's insane. I'll get to that. It's like over 1,000 yards difference from total offense to punt yards.
I'm not listening to College Game Day, but I have it up. They just ran a graphic with a little video that said Michigan versus everybody. You don't get to say blank versus everybody if the reason everybody hates you is because you blatantly cheated. That's not how that works. They have to hate you for no reason. Michigan's become the most absurd program in college football.
Well, they're probably going to get beat today. So.
It's impressed that they surpassed Ohio State, their own conference foe, who they had such a good reason to be hated and still do because Ryan Day should be on a watch list and should be allowed within 100 feet of a nursing home. That dude's insane and just hates old people. He's easily the most hateable coach right now, the way he acts. And then you have Alabama, who everyone hates because they've dominated for so long. Nick Saban's an asshole. And Jim Harbaugh and company have found a way to be more hated than them. That's impressive. I'm personally not cheering for Alabama, but the fact that you got most of America to cheer for Alabama is terrifying.
What kind of colors do you think Connor Stallions is wearing today?
That dude is amazing blue all the way. He has a Google Doc with probably 1,000 pages that he's called a manifesto. Those people don't just give up on a cause. They go down with it. He should be locked up in a mental institution.
Yeah. Calling it a manifesto, that gives very serial killer vibes.
Serial killer? I mean, he's probably living in a cabin in Montana, just plotting his next move. And we should know where he's at all times. It's terrifying.
Stay away from Orlando.
Please.
The punt yards. So Iowa's punt yards this year 4,156. Total offense 3,123.
I love that so much.
They have doubled Tennessee's punt yards this year, and I feel like Tennessee has punted quite a bit this year.
I wonder. Yeah, that wouldn't be easy to find. We don't have to do it. Just maybe something to think about as a fan base, listeners that are here. I wonder what the punt amounts and yardages were versus last year. I wonder how similar they were. We do have to remember Alabama when Josh Heupel just decided to go on fourth down in the strangest areas.
Yeah. But he was able to get a lot of those too.
Not the ones versus Alabama in the second half from your own 40-yard line.
Oh, I thought you were talking about last year. Sorry.
Oh, no, last year, yeah. But we didn't do it in just absurd scenarios.
Yeah.
There's really – I think overall this matchup lends its hand to Tennessee, but I think with a lot of the unknowns, it's hard to fully lean into Tennessee as the winner. I think a lot of things got to go right in this game. A lot of things. And your play calling can be strong, but you still have guys that haven't had a ton of playing time or time with this unit in terms of what you're playing with, the ones that you just don't know exactly what's going to take place. I do think I would like to see Nico lean on those tight ends. That's probably your strongest units, guys that have been around that should be in the right spot at all times, should be doing the right thing. So I'd like to see him lean on those tight ends a bit. And I think hopefully Heupel and Halsley have those in mind. You talked about you're taking deep shots and beating, opening up big plays is going to be hard. So finding ways to be able to move the ball effectively on drives is going to be the challenge. And I think your tight ends are a good outlet and a strong, probably as a unit, your strongest unit on offense as a whole.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is like who dominates first and second down, like who gets in third and short, who's able to, like you said earlier, keep the other team off schedule. I think is a big part in this football game. I guess kind of like every football game, but this one especially.
Yeah, this one, I do think that's where Tennessee has the advantage is they do have a quarterback who is effective throwing the football. Now, how effective?
Pretty mobile too.
Right. But
I mean, he escapes with the best of them. That's like his whole highlight so far. Other than that one touchdown, it's him just escaping the pocket.
Right. How effective he is throwing the football today is a question mark, but I think more effective surely than his opponent. So I think Tennessee has an advantage there off schedule. I do. This is a game where Tennessee can, I think, play off schedule. Now you're playing a really good Iowa defense. It's not going to give it up a ton if they give it up at all. But I think that lends itself to Tennessee there. And I think on the other side of the football, if Tennessee's defense is able to get them off schedule early and often, I think this is a really, really frustrating day for Iowa's offense, just as frustrating as the entire season's been. And as good as Iowa's punter is, the 3 and outs are going to be crucial. You don't want to play field position with Iowa.
Yeah.
That's where they will win this football game. So if they're able to get 1-2 first downs, then punt, they're honestly playing the game they want to play. 3 and outs are crucial in this football game.
Yeah. Who's somebody on defense that you are kind of excited to see?
That new?
No, just
okay. Okay.
Yeah, just today in general. Yeah.
I think it's going to be I think it'll probably be an Amari Thomas show. You're going to see him you're going to see him disrupting the interior line. Now, is he going to make a ton of tackles? That's to be seen. It's hard from that position. He does it still, but it's hard. So I think then you rely on your ends, your linebackers. Like Jeremiah Thielander, you mentioned him. You talked about this is a great game to get him in. Yeah, just let him go in and cause chaos because he's going to run hard at somebody.
Yeah.
And I think that having guys that are willing to do that today is going to be the crucial thing. I think Amari Thomas is going to disrupt a lot of their run game. Mm-hmm. Who can make tackles off of that, though? That's the big question. So I'm really excited to see what he does there. Makes them run where they don't want to on plays. I'm always excited to watch Amari Thomas work, though.
Yeah. I think James Pierce is one to watch. I know, with them running the football a lot, he's probably not going to be hugely involved, probably in first and second down. But third down, you get them a little bit behind the sticks where it's a must-pass situation. How is he not licking his chops every single time?
Right.
I mean, a quarterback he ain't getting out of the pocket. And if he does, he isn't going anywhere anytime fast. So, I think James Pierce is one to watch in this game because I think on third down he can really pin his ears back and just go get a quarterback that's not very good.
Yeah. Hope.
And just wreak havoc. I mean, everybody along that defensive front, just wreak havoc. Because that leads to turnovers, that leads to short fields, and that's just going to give your offense more confidence.
Yeah. I think, turnovers are incredibly crucial because going back to field position. if it's a field position battle, Iowa wins this one.
Yeah, and that's probably what I'm most interested to see with Nico is just how well is he able to just take care of the football against a defense that's not just going to let him just sit back there and pick them apart. This isn't going to be like a typical 7-on-7 football game.
Right.
So I'm interested to see that. Is he able to just take what the defense gives him, dump it off? Is he comfortable in doing that? And just moving the ball down the field without turning the football over.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because Iowa kind of does that to you. They kind of just lull you to sleep on offense, which is weird. Until you're like, dude, I'm tired of just dumping this football off. I got to fit it in somewhere. And you do it, and it turns into an interception. That leads to points. That's why I think they're, fourth in scoring defense, fifth in total offense, or total defense.
Yeah. It's this is the best defense you've faced so far this year. Mm-hmm. Total defense.
I will go on record saying this. I do think this is the best offense that Iowa's faced.
Other than Michigan, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Statistically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should be. We'll see.
Penn State's pretty bad offensively, and they scored 31 points on Iowa. And a lot of that was turnovers, 3 and out.
That was an ugly football game. I watched some of that game. That was an ugly football game.
Yeah.
This will probably be an ugly game. As we kind of wrap up, we're going to get out of here, get ready for this game, kicking off in about 15 minutes. Chris Ellis, by the way, I would think your best bet to watch this game in Canada is probably just the ESPN app.
Yep.
I don't know how all those blackout crap works. I don't know for sure. I'd like to go on record, though, as saying that the semifinals being on New Year's Day sucks. I don't care that New Year's Eve was a Sunday. They should have been played on New Year's Eve. Screw the NFL.
That just sucked. Yesterday there was no college football. I mean, I understand Sunday, but it wasn't like that was the playoffs.
Right. Just make the NFL move. Who cares?
Yeah.
College football's king, baby. Pat McAfee thinking that Reese Davis was going to say the N-word, though, has made my day. Honestly. Made my day.
Yeah, that's I want to see a view because it kind of zooms in on Reese when he's about to say it. I wish we could have
but not say that word. Just say what he was gonna say.
Exactly. Yeah, he wasn't gonna say it, but everybody thought he was gonna say it. I want to see everybody's reaction of when they thought he was gonna say it.
Yeah. What is it? Let a naysayer know.
Yeah.
I like that there's going to be people who complain about that. See, Pat's ruining the show. I'm like, listen, whatever Reese was going to say about some college football player's brand is not as good or entertaining as Pat McAfee interrupting that and getting why am I blanking on his name? Oh my gosh. Desmond Howard I've had a newfound appreciation for Desmond Howard because he has the role of just laughing hysterically at everything Pat McAfee says,
Yeah.
and I love it. He will laugh at anything, and it's great.
It's got to be in his contract. Hey, just laugh at whatever this guy says.
I think maybe, but I think he cries often from laughter on the show. I think he's just like, Pat is his guy that he can get to do anything and say anything, and you just laugh at him.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. He's our deuce.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I don't really have anything else for this game. I guess score predictions we'll do, even though I don't know where to go with this. And then I don't know if you, whatever else you want to do.
Yeah, I got 23-13 as my score prediction. I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
I think Tennessee is going to have to kick some field goals in this game. I think they've had red zone issues throughout the year, and I don't think that Iowa makes that any easier. So
just don't get in the red zone. Score from afar.
Yeah, which is difficult too. So yeah, I think Tennessee's going to have to kick some field goals in this game. But, points. Take the points.
Yeah.
Iowa can't score them. Take the points.
Yeah, I think this is a higher scoring affair because of the month of preparation for both squads. I think Iowa will at some point be able to take advantage of a depleted secondary and score a touchdown or two. Field goals will definitely be in the cards because it'll be a field position battle. I think Tennessee comes out on top. I think Nico hits on a big play at some point in the game. I think Tennessee's going to have the advantage with athletes, and they don't have to play ahead of schedule to hit those deep balls. I've got Tennessee 31-20 in this game.
Oh, wow. Okay. Slamming the over.
Honestly, I just wanted to give a different score prediction than you. I was probably more in like the 20-10 range.
Okay.
20-13.
That's fine. Hey, how unbearable is this fan base going to be, me included, if you're able to score 31 points and win against Iowa with Nico at quarterback?
I do think 23 or 31, that is probably a defensive touchdown in there somewhere, or a defensive turnover that immediately leads to a touchdown. Okay. I think it's going to be something the defense does that allows you to win by 10.
And we've said on this show already today that you can't look too much into this game. If Tennessee wins that way, I'm going to do it.
Just going to let you know, I'm going to overreact no matter what happens.
Exactly. I can tell myself don't, but I'm going to do it.
It's going to happen. I'm going to get my pajama pants on and head over, and we're going to watch the game here in a second. Guys, be back on Thursday. I got a vent about the college football playoff. I didn't get time. I've been told that I'm dying on this hill. Well, get ready. I'm building an effing hill for Thursday's episode, and I'm going to die on it, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk more about
I thought we always fight for the upper ground. So if I'm on a hill, why am I dying on it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk more about bowl season. We just want to get a quick episode in because we weren't able to yesterday. So we'll talk more about the rest of the games. And guys, go check out our sponsors, Grade A Grounds. Love them. Roback.com, Memento. If you're going to the bowl game, check out the Memento app. Add that to the list. Man, go Vols, baby.
Go Vols.
Let's get a win. 1-0 in 2024. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.